Hey, YouTube, Facebook, whatnot. This is Blade Junkie, and it's been a while since I posted a video on my Sprint 2, so I thought I would give you all a video on it, and it's not a running video, yet again, unfortunately. I don't have another one of those. So, for the time being, you'll have to deal with, what I've got for you, which really isn't that exciting, but I think it's cool, so I thought I'd show you. Alright, well, so primarily, aluminum parts. But first thing I'm going to show you is actually going to be the new body, which is a really, really weird looking thing. It's awesome, believe me, it's cool. It's like a tuned version of a Mustang, but I don't know what Mustang, and that's because of the fact that I bought it from r2hobbies.com, and pretty much all that was included was Mustang. But it was a really long title, and it included a few other unusual terms that I did not think would apply to this, such as Ford Focus, Mustang GT450. A lot of odd terms there that I don't quite think match up with any one car. They match up to a lot of cars, individually. As one, I don't even think it applies to this vehicle. But anyway, so R2 Hobbies has this awesome thing. They sell car bodies, but this is the only one that I know of so far that they have, but in carbon fiber pattern. So they sell RC car bodies that are that include decals and stuff, but it's really just carbon fiber body. So no clear windows or anything, but still, I thought it was reasonably cool for the price of it. So I wanted to see how good a quality it was. So I got myself one, and this is the setup that I'm running with it. And my apologies if I talk too quietly. I have a sinus infection right now. Like, as I'm making this video, I got a sinus infection, and I can't hear out of my left ear. So yeah, I'm basing all of it off of echo from my right ear. So what I'm hearing is all kind of a slight delay of everything. So I'm probably talking a little quiet right now, but I'm trying not to. All right. So anyway, moving along here to the car. Yeah, as I said, my new setup is pretty cool in my opinion. I've just recently finished it, so I thought I would show you guys what I got for it. So here it is. Not too shabby. You'll notice there's a lot of junk everywhere. I apologize for that. So yeah, not too bad. It's not a painted thing. It's screen printed, I believe. But the reason it's got all this stuff on it, the HPI Racing, is because the chassis underneath this body is a Sprint 2 Drift Sport. The earlier version, it's not waterproof, it's not brushless, not lipo, nothing like that. Didn't even include the battery. So yeah, if you have any interest in that, check out the other videos that I've posted on my channel. But for the time being, I'll just kind of show you what it is. So anyway, as I was saying, the HPI Racing part of things is because the chassis is a Sprint 2, which is made by HPI. There are a lot of other decals that were included with other older HPI vehicles, such as down here, you probably can't really see that very well. It says Stage D. So there's one of those on the roof. And on the sides here, we've got Rays, www.rayswheels.co.jp, iBox Springs, or ABEC, or I don't really know how to say it, and a little HPI thing, and then another little HPI thing on the other side of the wheel. Or rather, on the other side of the wheel well. Main decal on the side is GPM, and because of the fact this body is black, you can't really see it very well, but it does say the sophisticated RC car parts, or the sophisticated parts for RC cars, rather. Yeah, the sophisticated parts for RC cars. And it says Team GPM Racing Products. So I bought the GPM Racing products from AsiaTees.com. Again, pretty cool stuff. And those are the aluminum upgrades that I'm going to show you. You will notice yet another HPI thing here. Probably can't really see it very well either, but it says www.hpiracing.com. And move around over here. Another GPM decal here. Stage D. TopCAD. TopCAD makes the cooling fan that I was going to put on it, but they also make the springs that I'm using on the body, so because the fan doesn't actually fit, the heatsink for the fan doesn't actually fit on the motor because of the way that the Sprint 2 is configured at the time, so it doesn't leave room for a heatsink or a fan. So, but that's fine, because as I said, it's not really for the fan as much as it is for the shocks that are underneath this whole thing. HPI Racing featured here on both of the fenders. Pretty nice decals, I guess. They give you, now this is really stupid. It's not a clear body, but they give you the headlight buckets, which is freaking stupid because of the fact that it's not clear. So, you know, it's pointless to even bother. You'd have to cut a hole in the body anyway, so it's stupid. Unless you have a crud load of effort, or even just a mildly higher amount of effort than I do. Again, GPM Racing parts, also featured here, and on the other side, as I said, HPI Racing and TopCAD. No clear windows, it's just a little decal you put on there. Does have handle decals, you probably can't see that, but it does have a little lock keyhole thing on there. Some pretty awesome looking stuff down here. Vents and things like that all around it are really good still, so it was well formed. And actually this body is oddly enough, it's 200 millimeters, but it's with all this extra kit stuff that they put on there, it's actually a lot wider than you'd think. So their machine that they used to make this actually requires that the pegs that hold the block, the what would you call it? Oh, I can't remember the word. It's like the pre-image kind of thing, you know, it's the one that everything else is based off of. The mold actually is clamped in such a way that it has to go outside of here. They can't clamp the inside of the mold, so it's because it's that big. So it's kind of interesting. 3mm offset wheels, so I guess it really doesn't seem that big, but for a 1/10 scale, 200 millimeters is about as wide as you should go for that. So, you know. R2hobbies.com 6-spoke wheels with, I don't know what tires or foam inserts, all R2 Hobbies stuff on the wheels. Again, oh, actually, no, not again. That one there, HPI there, HPI there, awesome rear bumper, and HPIRacing.com, and the gas cap. And over here, we've got Pacific Rim at ilovedrifting.com, which applies to me because I do. We also have Sparco. So that's cool. And on the spoiler here, this spoiler was included with this body. It's pretty nice. It's adjustable, actually. You probably can't really see that from that angle, but it is adjustable quite nicely. So that's cool. GPM Racing parts. Stage D GPM Racing parts. TopCAD. And if I move it around, I'll show you the back. You get a nice little tail light, non-function, of course. Stage D, HPI, GT, you probably can't read that. A little license plate, looks like a European plate, it says HPI Racing. The European plate was included with the original body. The HPI Racing decal was included with an older body. some pretty gnarly looking tail lights because they look like they actually have lights in them just because of the print that's on there. They look like kind of dim lights or whatever. They've got green rings around them that look kind of cool. GPM racing parts, Top CAD. So yeah, that's cool. And as I said, this is my setup for it. Not too bad. I'd say it looks reasonable. I like the body. It just looks so dang hardcore with all that wide kit on it. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just a brilliant looking. It matches up nicely with the width of the wheels and all that. 3mm offset front and back. It all matches up nicely. The back is actually just a little off, as you can see. It's a few off, but that's just because I would have 6mm offsets on there, but I didn't decide to put them on there. Mirrors also included with the kit. No actual mirror. It's just a little appearance thing for distance or whatever. Some pretty intense looking air scoops on the hood, so that's sweet. So yeah, but it didn't include any sort of stuff on the body that indicated where to put holes in it for antennas or for body posts, which I guess is probably partly because of the fact that it's a body. It's universal. It's not HPI. When they make their bodies, they make them only for theirs, whereas R2 Hobbies sells them just for any, so they don't have anything preset for their own chassis, which they actually have quite a few, and they're actually quite good chassis, really. It's the wheels that come with the chassis if you buy an RTR from R2 Hobbies that you'll have to worry more about. Alright, and so, come along now. Alright, so, here it is. Screen printed, as I said, quite nicely. Not so bad. A nice rigid sort of inside appearance there. Prevents any pebbles from messing up the appearance of things, so that's really good. Still, just really cool, really neat screen print, really great texture and all that good stuff. The appearance of carbon fiber is amazing on the outside. Those are the screws for the spoiler, which actually has some little dents in there that you can already kind of see that pop out quite a ways, because it actually does have another option for the spoiler, which is one that you get to paint yourself, which I actually painted purple because that's the color of the aluminum parts on my car. Excuse me. But moving from the body, which, as I said, is for the most part unknown, I'm simply calling it Ford Mustang GT tuner. And yeah, so moving along from that to this. So, if you're new to this or you haven't seen my channel, this will look like the front of the car. That's because, unlike some people, I don't leave anything open to chance. So I've got a bumper mount on the back of my car so that no body can get really crushed up on the back. I do have dual bumpers in the front. They are usually dual stacked, but as of now, I don't have them on there because the most recent body I had on was the HSV010 GT from Honda Racing, and it takes up quite a bit of space, so it drops real low to the ground, so it did not have room for the double. And I just finished making this body, so yeah, I haven't used it yet. I haven't driven with it yet. You will notice the Fireball 15D modified motor. Again, watch the other videos if you have any interest in that. More importantly, as I said, the aluminum parts. I'm sorry this thing's dirty. Last time I drove it, I didn't give it a really thorough cleaning. I was in a rush. Extended body posts, because I do have a Toyota Hiace body, and the rear posts are simply flipped upside down. So that's cool. That just raises that up. So let's see, aluminum parts. What do I got available here? Well, let's see here what I can do to show you that. Alrighty then. Let's see. Now, got my handy little tool here so that I can kind of show you this, because one of the parts that's less visible is the hex pieces. So all the aluminum parts I have actually are from AsiaTees.com, aside from the ones that came on the car, which those of you who have the car will know, but I guess if you don't, then you won't know, so I'll just tell you. The caps on the top of your shocks, which are non-threaded, those are aluminum, and they're included in the kit when you get it. Applies to the front and the rear. You also get the motor mount plates in aluminum when you purchase the vehicle, assuming you do purchase the vehicle, but whatever. So yeah, these are the hex deals, 12mm hex head adapter for the axles. I have those on all four wheels. They're quite nice, I guess. I guess it depends on how you define nice, but you know, they're pretty good considering it only cost me about $5 for each of them. And while I'm here, I can show you this here swing arm, the lower arm, which also quite nice. Cost me $12 for a set of or for a pair, which of course would include the front two, and it was about $13 for the rear two. And yeah, so that's not terrible. AGTs is a good place to buy parts, and GPM makes good parts. So I'd suggest you check them out if you have any interest in aluminum parts. They don't sell for all the lower brands. They sell for all the big names, but they are very well known. So, let's see here. Now then, of course, this is going to be cool, somewhat. So I was going to get a lot more aluminum upgrades, but I'm actually getting a new vehicle soon instead of aluminum upgrades for this. I'm getting an Exceed RC, what is it? Rally Monster Electric Pro brushless, like 30-something hundred, I don't know, somewhere like 3,000, upwards of 3,000 kV for the motor. It's pretty good. 7 cell out of the box, so that's cool. And I'm also getting all aluminum parts for it, so don't hassle me for it'll break, because I'm prepared for that with all the aluminum parts I'm buying. But yeah, anyway, I'll show you this. We've got the servo rod here. Now it's purple aluminum, and AGTs has these in many colors. I think blue, orange, red, green, purple, and silver, gunmetal. You know, they just got a lot of options. These here TopCAD springs. This is the softest spring available from TopCAD. I got them in a kit with cost me $20. I got 2 sets of them, and they came with 10 springs each. So that's cool. 5 different softness, whatever. And yeah, 2 of each. So I got 2 of them, and I'm running those all the way around. I also have in here this aluminum chassis and sub-chassis plate mounter thing. I don't know what you call it really, but it's cool. So that's aluminum. You can buy a lot more than this. You can get aluminum battery straps. You can get, I don't even know what they all are, but there are just a lot of options. Just a crazy ton. So anyway, yeah, so I've got those. I've also got the turnbuckles. It also included tie rods, but I don't have all of those in. So, you know, I do have the rear tie rods in, though, adjusted for drift. Yes, I realize these are not drift tires, but they do actually get good slide. They work very nicely for drift tires. It's about as close to a real drifting kind of thing as you can get. Because, you know, with a real car, you don't need special tires to drift. You just need special setup. So this thing can whip out with the crazy acceleration, but once you get the RPMs up, you can seriously slide. And that's a cool thing about R2 Hobbies tires. So yeah. Now then, moving along to the bottom of the vehicle, where you can more obviously see the nice aluminum swing arms. Quite awesome looking. Very good quality. Very nicely made. Got all the stuff included that you'll need for it, really. Oh yeah, aluminum hub carriers and hubs. So steering hub, hub carrier. Of course, you can get the rear hub carrier as well. So yeah, that's very cool. They will include all of your E-clips and all of your pins that you'll need to put them in. And yeah, so that's really cool, of course. And aluminum here. This is just a part of it. When it comes out of the box, you'll get that on the back too. Yeah, just generally a really neat setup there with the. I don't know why I went with purple. I guess just because, you know, this is the older version, as I said. So this one kind of went out of style a little bit. Not a lot of people still have this, and all the people that do don't really have the same scheme running in their car anymore. They've changed it up. But anyway, as I said, I was going to get a lot more for this, but I decided against it. So, you know, not too bad. Pretty good bounce in the suspension, I think. Reasonable enough for drifting, but also high enough suspension that you can drift without slamming into rocks. And if you're going to get one of these, careful, because this huge gap here lets rocks in. That's why my ride height is so incredibly high. A lot of you are going to say, well, drifting, you got to have it low. But this is RC, people. You got to remember, radio controlled, you got scale. Scale means lower weight. In a real car, you'll have a lot more weight above the chassis itself, above the frame. This you do not. The frame and the chassis are all consolidated here, along with all the heavy electronics. So, to all those people that say to look realistic it has to be a lowrider, that's not true. You can lowride the body without lowriding the rest of the car. I just don't like lowriding the body because it busts up the body, and I don't like busted up bodies. Anyway, pretty cool, as I said. Let's see, maybe I can turn it on to show you just nifty stuff. So, we've got the radio system here. So, yeah, it's just, you know, very cool. Your tie rods, turnbuckles, and servo rod will all come with the appropriate mounting materials. You can see there, not very well because of the crappy low def for this camera, which, believe it or not, it's not actually that low def. It's only 720p, but that's not terrible. So, you know, yeah, and R2 Hobbies also sells something that's really cool. They offer something that gives you a 50-degree turning angle on your wheels, but I find that to be more than you need, because when you set your controller for drift, it will only be able to turn that much, which is actually not, it's not really setting it for drift. I just find that that works really well for drift. It gives you a good arc. That's actually just what happens when you change the dual rate for your steering. But anyway, so that's cool. So yeah, you know, again, sorry that it's not incredibly entertaining to watch my videos. I realize I'm boring. And of course the antenna is flopping around a little weird. Whatever. Anyway, so that's the car. Quite cool. Dynamite RC 5400 milliamp hour. What is it? 7.2 volt, 6 cell, of course. I wouldn't be able to tell you the amperage on it, but whatever. Pretty good battery. Only cost about like $40, so really good battery for the price, in my opinion. So, yeah, I guess that's really all there is to show you when it comes to the aluminum stuff. So, put the body back on here. Alright. So, there you have it. The Sprint 2 Drift Sport older version with all the awesome stuff that you'll get out of it. I don't really know what you'll get out of it, but, it's just a cool thing to have, and it's a lot of fun, of course. It's a good car for bashing because of the fact that it's belt driven. So while bashing, you don't have to worry about busting up snapping your stuff, because they'll just expand. They're elastic for the most part and will expand to fit over stuff. So if something gets in there, it'll crackle a little, but then spit itself back out most of the time. If not, it won't damage it permanently for the most part. So, cool, awesome. I guess most of that was just for the AsiaTees.com stuff. So, not bad. But yeah, as I said, I don't run them like this. I don't run them like I'm a gangster, because that's not right. Cars aren't meant to bust themselves up really low like that. So I ride the height high on it, which is cool because it fits muscle cars anyway. So that it looks good with this body. The HSV010 GT actually rides a lot lower, so that one fits. I do fit the profile for the cars most of the time. So anyway, yeah, awesome car. Again, to review, AsiaTees.com, awesome for aluminum parts for top quality, high grade, hobby grade RCs. R2 Hobbies, good place for tires, wheels, a lot of cheap stuff, including bodies like the carbon fiber body shown in this video. Yeah, so HPI Sprint 2 Drift Sport, awesome car. Sorry this was boring. I really do know how boring I am, believe me. But hey, this isn't about how exciting it is. This is about documentation, so it's not about you, it's about me. Ha. Not that I don't care about you guys, but, it is my car. And the creations I make out of Legos are mine and stuff, so I'm not trying to be mean here. It's just, I'm just posting these to YouTube so that I can show you how insane I am. Because, let's face it, who's not insane nowadays? Anyway, this is Blade Junkie, signing off. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe.